welcome back to West Coast XC. If you are watching this on YouTube, please subscribe. And if you're listening to us on Apple Podcast or Spotify, if you could follow us, that would be fantastic. We are going to be talking with the Dublin cross-country and track coach, Chris Williams. This weekend is a massive distance event in Dublin, California. That's in the East Bay of the San Francisco area. And you'll really enjoy that interview. Before we talk to him, I want to kind of do a quick recap of Nike Indoor Nationals. We went to Nike Indoor Nationals for the first time ever in New York City at the Armory. And it was just an incredible experience. They do a really nice job of hyping that meet. And if you're a fan of distance races, that you were not disappointed. Jane Hedegren of Timpview High School in Utah had a wonderful weekend. On Thursday, she opened the weekend with the new high school record in the 5,000. It's also an under 20 record in the 5,000, indoor or outdoor, at 15:13.6. She was pushed, by the way, by Riley Blade for most of the race. That really probably helped break the record. It had Riley Blade, well, even in her second, I shouldn't say that she won, but she ran 15:16, which was faster than the old high school record. So she ran an incredible race. That's Riley Blade of Santiago. And then Sunday, Jane Hedegren returned and ran a mile national record at 4:26.14. It's almost 2 seconds faster than what Sadie Englehart did at Ventura at the Millrose Games. The difference here is that Jane ran really by herself. It was not in a professional race. It was just a high school race, and just hit this incredible times. It was amazing. Just an amazing weekend for Jane. It was incredible. Addie Ritzenheim, who'd won NXN in 2023, won the 2 mile at 10 flat 11. That's a great time. Santiago girls won the distance medley with Braylon Combe running an incredible last lap and beating a bunch of high quality milers in the distance medley. Addie Ritzenheim was in the mix. I mean, she had just run the 2 miles, so that was incredible. Oregon Mountain of New Mexico was also in the distance medley, and Corbin Coombs of Oregon Mountain was the anchor, and he helped them to a victory. But you should know that Tommy Latham of Marist was also catching up. He was catching up. He had just also ran the 2 mile and won it. Tommy Latham of Marist High School in Georgia ran a time of 8:44 in the 2.5 in the 2 mile and was trying his hardest to climb into that race. But Corbin Coombs came away with the victory with his team, Oregon Mountain of New Mexico. We also had some incredible 800-meter races on Sunday. Reagan Moore of Oak Knoll, New Jersey, she had won the New Jersey Indoor Championships the week before, and she returned to win the national championship at Nike at 2:05.05. And then on the boys' side was Cooper Lukenhaus of Justin, Northwest Texas. He ran, not this week, but a few weeks earlier at Millrose, had run a 1:46, which was like the fastest indoor time for a high school athlete. And this time he ran 1:47.83, which was a meet record, and really was ahead by quite a bit. He almost won by 3 seconds. Belen Jesuit of Florida had a really great weekend that showed off their depth. Marcelo Mantecon, he's a sophomore, run the 5,000 in 4:14.38. Then that was on Thursday. Then on Sunday, Joseph Sakaris won the mile at 4:07.32. So that shows them. And they had athletes all over the place running in all these different races. They showed their depth. If you want to see some photos and maybe download some photos for yourself, if you ran in the race, we have 14 galleries on our website at westcoastxc.com. And also, if you go to our Instagram account, you can go to our bio on the top there of Instagram and find a link to all these galleries. It was a big weekend. But now let's talk to Chris Williams of Dublin about the exciting Dublin Distance Fiesta that's happening this weekend. We're happy to have Chris Williams from Dublin High School Cross Country and Track Program and the meet director of the Dublin Distance Fiesta, which happens this Friday and Saturday, March 21st to March 22nd. Hello, Chris.
Hello, Ken. How are you doing?
Good. Before we get started about the meet, you've had some health struggles lately, and do you want to tell us how you're doing?
Sure, yeah. So, in well, kind of long stories. I try to keep it as short as I can. November, I ended up having a kind of a health issue with I had a kidney stone. Went in, found out that I had a whole bunch of other stuff wrong when they did the scan with the kidney stone. I had a heart issue, liver, pancreas, colon, you name it. And then I found out I needed glasses because I couldn't read the report when the doctor was
Oh my
giving me the
gosh.
report. Yeah, I was like, look, lady, I can't be blind too. I mean, come on. But so because of that, we discovered that I ended up in February. I went in for a colonoscopy, found out I had colon cancer, and we moved really, really fast. And so the surgeon, everybody was like, look, we can see it, we know where it is, let's go in and get it. So within 10 days after the colonoscopy, I went in and had surgery, and the surgery came out really, really good. And so they
Great.
think they feel very good that they're confident that they got it all. Right now, it's looking like I won't have to have chemotherapy, which is great.
Yeah.
But I have to do a regular blood work and another colonoscopy and stuff like that to make sure that it doesn't spread any more than it already had. But as long as those keep coming back clean, then I won't have to have chemo, which is very nice to do. But on the flip side of that is I had to be reminded that the surgery is separate from the cancer now. So the recovery from the surgery is a very long process because I mean they cut me open. So
Yeah.
I'm going to be right now it doesn't look like I'm gonna be able to do anything kind of regularly until maybe the end of April. But I'm able to now get outside and walk around and do stuff like that. But I still have some physical kind of limitations, and my energy is also really low.
Hmm.
And so like my iron is really not really good for all you distance runners out there. Make sure you take your iron.
Yeah.
But my iron is really low, so I'm just trying to recover from that for right now.
And then there's a monster meet this weekend. How are you just delegating it to your assistants and such this weekend?
Oh yeah, so I mean, I have a really veteran staff that has helped me put on the meet before too. So a lot of it I've actually kind of already delegated throughout the years, and so this year was really easy kind of for me just to kind of just hey, now they just need to be more in charge of it than they were already. I'm able to do all the email communication with the coaches and all that stuff and all that. There's a lot more behind the scenes work I think you put on a meet that people realize, and so I'm still able to do all of that stuff, and
Right.
so. That's been very, very helpful. And so the manpower that just takes to run the meet, just really is already kind of taken care of already. And so, I mean, the meet's going to go off without a hitch. I mean, my staff is great, and so they're ready to go. And we've already put on two smaller meets already this year where I haven't been there, and they did one meet faster than I did it last year.
Okay.
So I'm very confident that they're going to be able to do a better job. And actually, we might learn something better for this year. So.
All right. Well, I'm looking forward to coming to the meet this weekend. I've never been there, so I have a bunch of questions about the Dublin Distance Fiesta.
Okay.
Um, I've been kind of keeping my eye on it because it's got like just amazing amount of numbers there. Can describe the meet to us?
Yeah, sure. So, well, just in general, it's a distance only meet. So we run the 1600, 800, and 3200. On Friday night, we run a 4x800 meter relay, and on Saturday night, we run a distance medley relay. And it's just distance races. And so, I mean, that's kind of just the small part of the meet. The meet kind of itself will kind of evolve from. It used to be when I coached at Sky in high school previously in Oakland, previous to this, and we used to go to the meet, the Bay Area Distance Festival hosted by Piedmont High School. When I got to Skyline, well, then that meet went away. I saw an opportunity to kind of take it, but that time it was just the no relays. And in a previous life, I used to be a DJ. And so I was still young at that time and was able to just roll up my DJ equipment. We did the meet. We did a distance medley relay at the end of it, and pump music throughout the whole meet. And it's just the energy is just amazing. I mean, and on top of that, Scott Abbott's our announcer for the meet. And he announces every race like it is the 1500 meters at the Olympics. I mean, it is just, I mean, even the slowest heat of of any event, you swear that they're breaking a world
Oh,
record in the
wonderful.
event. I mean, and we actually we already have prefaced the police department, because we have some neighbors that don't like, and we pump it up pretty good. And so the neighbors will complain and they're going to call. And so we've already let them know. They've already let the neighborhoods know that, hey, this meet's happening. So you're going to hear Scott and the music all throughout the weekend. Because this weekend is 24 and a half hours of distance races this weekend.
Oh my
So
goodness. Oh my goodness. I can't wait. That's awesome.
good.
Cannot wait. I'm so excited to be there. Um, why is it a fiesta? What I see you've got the piñata there. How did that come about?
So that was actually on accident. So the first year, I used to, again, going back to the meet inception, we had gone to the Bay Area Distance Festival, and then but I always put on like a scrimmage for the distance kids, uh, just to get some extra run. They can't make it into all the elite meets and stuff like that, so I would put on a scrimmage and had a DJ come. And my rival coach at the time was his name was Dave Pontus at Oakland High School. And Dave was like, man, this isn't like a meet. This is like a party, like a fiesta. And it was just like, okay, well, and it just kind of stuck. It was just like, okay, well, I didn't want to be a festival like everybody else. Didn't want to be a carnival. I got to come up with some kind of other name. I'm like, well, it was just the Dublin Distance. At that time, it was the Skyline Distance Fiesta. And then it just became that. And then then I'm like, oh, well, how can we utilize a fiesta for the meat? And so like at that year we only had tacos at the snack bar, and but then we decided to do like make the winner of every heat get a sombrero, like a special customized sombrero that we do. They're not cheap, I'll tell you that, but they're very nice. But that's how we kind of started with the whole getting the sombreros. And then the name of like the sombrero heats now, Scott Abbott, actually our announcer again, he was the one that kind of would do it. And he was like, during the meet, he announces it, and then it just kind of became this whole the thing with that. But that's kind of how the fiesta started, was just honestly just a random thing. Hey, it's more like a party than a meet. I was like, okay, cool.
So how many sombreros do you hand out over the weekend?
So the winner of the fastest time of the day gets the fastest time of the event gets a sombrero. So the fastest 800 is 1632. Then in the relay teams, the fastest team and their coach, as well as a distance medley relay, the fastest team and their coach, they all get sombreros. So we give away normally around 16 to 24, depending on the. I mean, we normally give about, I think again that's what 3, 5, 8. We give 16 out a year, or no, excuse me, 24 a year now.
So it sounds like that's a very valuable keepsake and trophy from the meet.
Oh yes, we had a young lady named Brooke Starn who ended up running at Harvard. She was from one of the local schools at Monte Vista. When she graduated, she had I think won like 10 of them over the
Wow.
year. And when she moved away, she put them all out on her lawn, took a picture and sent it to me, and it was like, I mean, all the things. But it becomes like this really big deal. I know some coaches that they hang them up in their classroom and they're still there, and they'll send me pictures. They're like, oh yeah, well, here's the last few ones, and their teams come in, and oh, I want to get those for the DMed or the 4x8. So it's pretty cool.
And I follow you guys on Instagram, and I think it was yesterday I saw it was a carousel of teams. There's so many teams. How did has it always been this big, or is it just kind of gain momentum?
No, it's gained momentum. Honestly, like I mean, and I guess maybe I will brag about this. I think we put on a really good product, and so I mean, you're familiar with track and cross country, and so when you go to a meet, normally your attrition rate, you want to kind of bring back 50 to 60% of the schools every single year to do that. And honestly, I'm always trying to do it. And you'll find this because I'm gonna take care of you too. But I'm really good about the hospitality for the coaches and the teams, and they get free food passes. And I mean, our snack bar, we have a phenomenal snack bar. I mean, I eat it on the snack bar financially. I mean, I have to pay for it. So I mean, we lose money at the snack bar at these meets because I want to take care of everybody, and so I think that reputation, the worst attrition we ever had was 91% from a year over year, and so people just keep coming, and they haven't stopped. And last when we went to the 2-day format, I'm like, oh well, people are going to drop because they don't want to come, and everybody came back. And then this last year, I had to move it earlier in the day on Friday because we had so many entries. Everybody came back. This
Wow.
year, I'm like, okay, I thought that was honestly to scare people away, and everybody just keeps coming back. And this year, actually, I think we just got lucky this year, really, with even the increase from last year, is because we always walk our meet back from state championships. So it's so many weeks back from state. Normally we're the third Saturday in March. This year we're the fourth. And
Right.
so, but again, just because, again, how we walk it back from the state meet and other meets didn't move. Excuse me, so I mean, they kind of like, it kind of opened up a little weekend in March and there's really nothing else.
Yeah.
And maybe that's because of the popularity of our meet. People don't want to compete with us. That's fine. That's good. But I think it's a perfect storm this year of the schedule. Kind of the schedule God just kind of opened it up and allowed everybody to come because normally we don't get. We have 30 more schools than we did last year because there is a meet kind of down the Central Coast a little bit that isn't happening this weekend. So and all those schools are just coming up. So
Okay. Well, I have to tell you, I'm a big fan of hospitality, so I
yeah,
love to eat. So that's great news for me.
yeah.
Pictures and food, those are the two things I do on the weekend. So I'm looking forward to that. And if I'm like a 512 high school miler boy, am I able to race there?
Oh, absolutely. So we accept everybody. You know, as the meet grew in popularity, people actually ask me, it's okay, do I want to start capping it? Do I want to start like maybe make time limits? And I said no, because this meet is really for everybody. You know, the pictures that I get over the years. I mean, I have a friend of mine that sends me he's a friend now. It's like his daughters won their heat of the 2 mile and they ran like 14:10 or something like that. And it was like, but they wanted because every heat we give away 3 shirts every single heat. So this year I'm gonna give out over 700 shirts
Wow.
for the meet. Yeah, and they're dry fit, 4 color. I mean, so if you're
Wow.
a 12 miler kid, it's gonna be he's literally gonna probably be in a heat and because of how dense the meet is, probably with 30 other 512 milers. So
Wow.
it is like the greatest experience for those kids because everybody you're in a heat that you can win and really race. It's like a lot of bodies, everything's kind of intense. Scott's again announcing you like you're going to break a world record. The music's pumped, and we let the kids request music. So the DJ might be playing your song for that heat. And so it's like it's just but it's a phenomenal experience for the kids. And again, we take everybody. We have some unfortunate issues where coaches will sandbag times because they want kids to win heat, so they'll
Yes.
slower times in. And I do take the time over the last 48 hours. I go through. I'm like, look, I will change kids' times because I'm like, I don't want that because I don't want a kid just to get a shirt. If you want a shirt, just ask me. I'll give you a shirt. Like it's like if it's like that. I mean, don't do something like that. But then like I love watching those. I mean, like I love watching those boys that have never broken 6 minutes in the mile before. I mean, there's a heat of just 6 minute boy milers, and they get so geeked up. They run like 5:41, and man, they're just when they come across that finish line, man, it is like I mean, it's for me selfishly that's the biggest enjoyment I get. It's like watching those kids, those PRs and and stuff like that. It's a pretty cool experience. But yeah, but the meet is for everybody.
Wow. Okay. So it's 2 days
Mm.
and that it doesn't work out where like I'm only bringing my kids on Friday. The teams come for 2 days.
They do. And that's the I mean, I've had teams like, hey, look, can we only get our kids in on Friday? And I'm like, well, we can't because I see the heats based on your seed times. And so
Right.
let's say you have like again, you mentioned your 512 miler guy. Well, I think our cutoff this year for the 1600 between Friday and Saturday was 524. So if you're a 512 miler, I don't want to put you in a heat with a 524 guy because that 524 guy now is not going to get a chance really to win his race because
Okay.
I got a 512 kid in it. And so that's kind of the unfortunate thing. But again, I put all that information out there. Coaches know, hey, look, this is what the deal is, and it's like, and so they've adjusted their entries, accordingly. I think,
Okay.
a lot more coaches are realizing, hey, look, I know that my 13-minute 2 mile girl is going to be running on a Friday. It's like so. It's like now if some of the kids are close, but again, they know that now, so it's not
Okay.
like it's such a big shock like it was the last couple of years when we did have to make a dramatic change in doing it. This year, I think a lot of coaches knew that reflected in the entries.
Mm.
The 800s are only on Saturday, so we had a lot more 800-meter entries this year. And so I think that's so the kids the coaches that knew, hey, I only want to be on a Saturday. Let me take some of my maybe my slower kids, put them in the 800. Know they can run on Saturday, so we're good.
Okay. All right. So you are obviously going through entries. We're still early in the week, but do you have any like, can you preview the meet for us a little
Yeah,
bit?
sure.
What are some
Um,
athletes and relay teams we should look for?
Girls 800. We have Kylie Hornart from Prospect. She's a sub 210 girl. But we have Sabrina Zanetto from St. Francis, also 210 girl. Hannah Thompson, who Montgomery. They have signed her up for all three. And I think depending on how she's feeling coming off of her indoor season right now, I don't know what event they're going to pick, or if they're going to pick one at all. I know that sometimes she struggles coming back, and for all the kids that come back from indoor, it's kind of a little rough for them to kind of just bounce back right away, and do that. So those are kind of the girls in the girls 800. Guys 800, we got Jackson Hine. He was fifth at the state meet last year. The 151 kid. And the cool thing in the 800 is that we're going to have four heats that should all go under 2 minutes. I mean, it's going to be pretty. Again, the density of the talent is really, really strong. So that's going to be pretty solid for that. For the girls 16, again, Hannah Thompson signed up. So that should be, a pretty good, get a pretty good run in there. But we have Eleanor Ranker from Galena, Anna Salter from Crystal Springs, both sub 450 four girls, in the girls 1600, would be really solid. For the guys, it's going to be a barn burner. But I think now that we just posted the heat sheets today,
Okay.
so it'll be interesting to see what guys are going to just do the 16 or they're going to focus on the 32.
Hmm.
But at the very least, right now, you've got Benjamin Bowie's a 407 kid from Crystal Springs, Aiden Stephanopoulos from Los Gatos, a sub 409, Miles Cook from Sacred Heart, 409. We have Eli Fitch and Young's a 412 kid from Santa Cruz. So I mean, and we have Drake Hafera from Jesuits, a sub 413 kid. We have a lot of the Menlo kids that won the state meet and made it
Right.
to NXN. They're kind of dispersed all throughout the meet.
Wow.
So, but they're going to be doing that, and the guy 16, 3200 is kind of where this meet is kind of really. For a while, it was just kind of an automatic. We used to have automatic entries into Arcadia, the night meet. But because our meet got so popular, we didn't need to do that anymore because they ran so fast their meet anyway. They just used our time to get in Arcadia anyway, so we didn't
Hmm.
need to do auto. But on the girls' side, again, Hannah Thompson signed up. So she actually is our meet record holder as a freshman. She ran. Actually, I can tell you what that time is. As a freshman, she ran 10:14 here. So I mean, so she kind of the defending record holder, everything, but it's great. But again, Eleanor Raker from Galena. We got Evangeline Marnicky from Archbishop Mitty. Those are both sub 1030 girls. In the girls 32, guys 32 is kind of where it's at as far as the really big time talent. We've already got so this meet we broke the internet one year because Matt Strangio from Jesuit ran 8:47, and when we posted the results, they actually omitted his result because they didn't believe it was real. And
Wow.
so I literally had to show them a video and really look, no, he really ran 8:47. And so at the time I didn't know this, but that was the fastest time in March in the country. No one had ever run that fast before. It was like March the 15th or whatever. No one had ever run that fast that early before. So that's why they didn't believe it.
Wow.
But, I mean, we have five guys sub 9 already. So Trey Caldwell from De La Salle is an 853 kid, but he was a Foot Locker nationalist. Brun Holman from Sonora, Eli Fitch and Young again from Santa Cruz, Aiden Stephanopoulos, Aaron Sagaraji from Doherty Valley. So you have five guys already with sub 9 credentials in the race, and then I've got a whole slew of guys right under 910. So I'm not saying that we can compete with Arcadia, but I will say this: we will have just as many California boys under 9 minutes or at the depth of that heat as the California boys will run at Arcadia. And so, so we will get a pretty good amount of guys sub 9 to do that.
And that's Friday night?
Yeah, that's Saturday night. So
Okay.
the fast races of all the individual events, 16, 8, and 30, were all on Saturday, and
Okay.
we made a special session for that. So it's kind of like the whole night meet is all the fast stuff. If
Okay.
you have enough time to double back, we created the schedule to where if a kid wanted to double back in the 16 and the 32, it's actually the exact same time difference as if they were to try to do that at the state meet.
Okay.
So it's the exact same time. to do that. So we kind of we created the meet to do that. So 4x8 should be pretty good. We set a lot of sub 8 groups, but I mean, I don't know if we're gonna run it, but we're actually right around sub 8 right now. But Carmont, St. Ignatius, Menlo Atherton, Casa Grande, a lot of these schools are definitely have the potential to break 8 minutes for a 4x8 this early.
Now we don't have the 4x8. I'm up in Oregon. We don't have the 4x8, the state meet. They don't do it by time. They have to qualify at CIF for the 4x8.
Well, no, this year's so California is a little different where every event is a qualifying event. However, the 4x8, because it's so new in California, every section is kind of allowed to determine how you qualify. So qualifying into our section meets is different. However, qualifying the state meet, we still have to go top 2 in our section meet to qualify for the state championships. But in relation to how you get there, to enter into that all those rounds, you do have to have a time.
Mm-hmm.
And so the teams do want to get a good time in
Okay.
early so they don't have to necessarily do it, but they have opportunities to do it. So for the girls 4x8, Camp Lindo High School is going to be running it. Bay School. So you've got 2 good, really solid teams right there. Menlo Atherton is really good. Crystal Springs Uplands has been really good on the relay team. And I'll give Crystal Springs Uplands a shout out. They had a 4x8 team a couple of years ago that was guys that was like running around 750, I think, and their school size is 350 kids.
Right. It's
I mean,
a Division 5 school. Yeah.
Right, I'm saying if they were like, I'm willing to bet you in the country there was no school that size that had ever run that fast before. And so for the guys, I mean, I talked about the guys already. For the girls, for the DMed, a lot of the same schools that are running the 4x8 are got in the DMed, Bay School, Camp Lindo, St. Francis and Mountain View. They normally load up in the relays at this meet, so they should be pretty solid. And the guys, it's become a badge of honor. We and I haven't done this on purpose. This is the density of the meet again, but a lot of the guys that will run that 2 mile will double back and run the DMed. I mean, it's kind of crazy to watching the guy break 9 minutes, then come back and try to run 4:15 the mile to anchor their team. But it's happened.
Next race after the 2.
It's for on our schedule. The guys will get about an hour and they get about an hour and 20 minutes, let's say, maybe to recover. But Jesuits in it, Bellarmine High School, which was our record holder for a while. They're in the race. Foothill from Pleasanton is going to run, I think, pretty fresh. Santa Cruz, depending on what they do with their top guy, it's going to be very easy. But it's always like this. It became this heroic kind of thing where you have these guys, and all of a sudden they get in the demon, and it's like this. It is a badge of honor. They'd love it. I mean, I've had kids triple and do that anchor, but it's pretty cool to watch. And Scott hypes it up too. I mean, again, it's like the world record's getting broken here, and it's just going to be, yeah.
And what does the weather look like for this weekend?
Oh, you're not supposed to ask that question, Ken.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay. No, it's all right. I'm in good with the Lord. He's been taking care of me, so we're good. Right now the weather looks phenomenal. I mean,
Good.
it's gonna be low to mid 60s on Friday, and then like mid 60s, maybe get close to 7 degrees on Saturday.
That's nice.
But by the time Saturday rolls around, Saturday night, it's gonna be perfect for distance running. The only issue we ever get, and this is where I'm knocking on wood, is the wind. But honestly, I'm knocking on wood here. Right now, the wind has not been that bad, besides a couple of rainstorms that did come through. But we haven't got the valley winds that we traditionally we get later in the year, later in the track season to do that. So, but the weather right now looks phenomenal.
Oh, that's great. Sometimes, we're still in March, and everybody has this view of California. It can rain in March, so
yeah. Well, one of our favorite meets that we go to, the Dan Gabor Invitational in Amador Valley, it stormed there literally probably like 5 or 6 years in a row, to the point where instead of giving away T-shirts, they give away swim caps. I mean, that's how. Yeah, but every year you would just know. You sign up for that meet, it's going to rain. You go there, and this year they actually it did rain for part of the 2 mile, but for the rest of the day it was actually pretty good weather.
Okay.
We went at it, but normally, we're pretty solid for the weather.
Well, I'm super psyched. We'll be there on Saturday, not Friday, but we'll be there Saturday, and take pictures. I do have my friend Todd will be there Friday, and he'll be taking pictures on Friday and Saturday. So we'll have couple of photographers there for people to download photos
Great.
of the meet. And I've heard about this meet. I met you a couple of years ago, and you were saying, yeah, you told me I have to come, and I want to. You know, I'm a teacher, and so it's all about spring break.
Yeah.
And your meet has been a week away from spring break, and the way the schedule shifted this year, Saturday is our first day of spring break, so I'm going to head down because I don't have to hurry back to Oregon because we have the week off. So I'm looking forward to the meet, and I'm glad you're feeling better. I'm glad you've got a good prognosis. And I'm looking forward to the Dublin Distance Fiesta. I can't. I love Mexican food. I can't wait.
Yeah, we'll be ready for it. So I do have one shameless plug I'd like to kind of pub for the meet.
Yeah.
And that, last year, we talk about the record stuff. Last year we had 333 girls break 6 minutes in the 1600, and then we had 567 boys break 5 minutes in the 1600. And those are like the old records of that in the country was like 268 and 411 respectively.
Mm-hmm.
It's, and I'm not just the meet is just, it creates a lot of excitement, but it's really cool that the kids get to participate in something like that. Like last year we stopped the meet when the one boy broke the record, but he wasn't even like the fastest guy because he broke the 411. He was the 412th kid. So he was like fourth in his heat too. So it didn't even, so it
Wow.
was just a pretty cool experience for those kids to do that. But yeah, we're really excited to have you come down, and thank you for allowing me to do the podcast with you
Oh,
as
you're
well.
welcome.
This
Oh,
is
no
very
problem.
exciting to do. So I'm really excited about it. But yeah, we look forward to hosting you and everybody. Actually, it's going to be great.
Oh,
So
I
thank
can't
you.
wait. I can't wait. I'm looking forward to that. And we'll look to see the meet on Saturday and post our pictures.
All
Well,
right.
thanks, Chris, for coming on. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thanks, Ken.
I want to thank Chris Williams, Coach Chris Williams of Dublin, to come on. We're really thankful that he is doing better with his health scare that he had this winter. And I'm super excited about the meet this weekend. He sure got me pumped up. Can't wait to hear the announcer announce all the different heats. We're going to make it there. I won't be there for Friday, but we'll make it there for Saturday. But our friend Todd, who you may have seen in one of our earlier podcasts, he will be there on Friday and Saturday. So we have lots of photos and opportunities for kids to get some photos from the Dublin Distance Fiesta. And so look forward to that. I'll be there with my stickers. So please come up and say hi, and I'll hand you a sticker. And West Coast is the best coast, and we'll see teams and athletes out on there at the Dublin on Saturday.